From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
I'm Mitch Laggy. Governor Greg Gianforte made a stop in Billings to honor a special crew of firefighters. I'll bring you the story coming up.
And potential record-breaking temperatures, red flag warnings, and a chance Mother Nature will provide her own fireworks heading into this 4th of July weekend brings warnings and restrictions into focus across our region. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, a combination of factors. If we don't play it safe, we could turn this weekend of celebration into a potential disaster. So we're going to go straight to Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh in the Q2 Weather Center to bring us a look at what's at stake. Ed.
You know, we're really concerned about several different things related to the heat. Now, obviously, it's going to get hot. We've been talking about the potential for record high temperatures, not just for Billings, but for many of the communities across Montana and northern Wyoming. Here's a look at Billings, very close to record highs each of the next 3 days. But along with that heat also comes the potential for heat-related illnesses. Anything in the heat warnings or heat advisories, the temperature's getting hot enough, even in the morning hours, it'll be somewhat warmer, so the chances of feeling ill are greatly increased. Also adding in wind across the eastern plains, so anything with man-made fires could spread rather quickly, especially by tomorrow afternoon and continuing over the next few days. And these red shaded areas show where we have increased instability in the atmosphere. That's tomorrow afternoon and again on Friday. That means a slightly better risk of thunderstorms. Lightning strikes will start fires as well. Closer look at the forecast coming up in a little bit.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Well, Carbon County following suit with the rest of the region as it announces Stage 2 fire restrictions will go into effect Friday. All this as crews continue to work the lines of the state's largest wildfire just south of Red Lodge. The Robertson Draw fire is now 65% contained as a Northern Rockies Type 2 incident management team took over today. Now, the Stage 2 restrictions mean no open burning. Now, that includes campfires, open burns, and trash barrel burns. Also, no off-road travel is allowed on designated road and trail, and no internal combustion engines between 1 p.m. and 1 a.m. in wildland fuel areas except for agriculture equipment. Now, the Carbon County attorney has determined that Stage 2 restrictions do not prohibit fireworks.
Stage 2 fire restrictions, although it does include explosives, is not intended to cover fireworks. So fireworks are still permitted on private lands. However, we are urging the utmost caution when igniting fireworks. We ask that people ignite them in non-flammable areas and that they have suitable suppression materials and equipment nearby. Water hose, fire extinguishers, shovels, things to that effect to help extinguish any fire starts.
Now, Coley says the expected crowds for the 4th of July, fuel, moisture content, weather, and the 2 wildfires already burning in that area were all factors in this Stage 2 decision. Well, county officials across the state and traditional firefighters aren't the only ones with concerns as we head into the big holiday weekend. MTN's Annie Johnson finds out what aerial firefighters anticipate.
It's normal to see an airplane flying in the sky, but what you may not want to see is one of these.
At this point, with how dry and how hot it's been in this state, I would prefer that no one takes part in any fireworks activities this weekend, but particularly if you're further out in the country with big fields.
The reason for his preference comes from his line of work.
We'll be responding to any fires that are within our purview with those agencies.
Many have expressed concerns over fires that can be sparked by fireworks this weekend, and aerial firefighters share in those concerns.
There's a very good chance it's going to be a busy weekend, especially with the dryness around here and the high temperatures. We're just waiting for the call.
Which is one of the separations of aerial firefighting versus traditional.
We don't respond directly to a fire without a call from the Forest Service or a state agency that assigns us to that fire. Differently from what you would see out of a county fire department or a township fire department. They respond as soon as the incident occurs. We are on standby until the government or state agency contacts us to go out onto that fire.
And it's on a case-by-case basis whether the aerial firefighters are needed, not only here in Montana, but around the country.
This aircraft behind me, as soon as we're carded by the U.S. Forest Service, will be ready to deploy for any call that we were to get. But right now we have 2 airplanes in Minnesota.
For more details about rules and regulations regarding fireworks, you can always get more information on our website. Reporting at Bridger Aerospace, Annie Johnson, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Annie. I'll stay ahead of Montana wildfires anytime and anywhere with the free KTVQ apps. Take our coverage with you by downloading our mobile news and weather apps from the App Store and Google Play. You can also watch our coverage on your schedule with the KTVQ streaming app for Roku and other devices. See everything available to you on our website at ktvq.com/apps. Well, the record high temps and holiday weekend can also lead to another concern, that being the consumption of alcohol in the heat. MTN's Sean Wells has that story.
Both alcohol and the sun cause dehydration. Those two mixed together during an extreme heat wave while out recreating can cause severe dehydration and confusion. Logan Health Trauma Coordinator Joy Fortin says alcohol is a diuretic, which is trebling during heat waves because the body is losing fluids at a high rate. She says those out in the water should limit their time in the sun and be considerate of their alcohol consumption.
I know everybody wants to have a good time. 4th of July is right around the corner, but please be mindful, hydrate as much as possible with non-alcoholic beverages, and then use those alcoholic beverages sparingly while you're out in the sun and recreating.
Fortin says extreme heat mixed with alcohol can lead to severe confusion. That can be extremely dangerous sometimes, such as if parents are not paying attention to small children in cold water.
Spending long periods of time tubing without the ability to get out of the water is not necessarily good, especially for young children. They have a higher tendency to suffer from hypothermia from cold water, even when it's hot outside.
Remember this 4th of July weekend, water is your friend. In summer, Sean Wells, MTN News.
Thanks, Sean. Now, many counties across the state have additional law enforcement on patrol this weekend to crack down on potential drunk drivers. Well, today in Billings, Governor Greg Gianforte announced he has ended the COVID-19 state of emergency in Montana. On March 13th of 2020, the President of the United States declared a national state of emergency due to the COVID-19 outbreak. On January 13th, 2021, Governor Gianforte issued his own statewide emergency. In ending the order today, Gianforte cited that nearly 50% of the state is now fully vaccinated and growth in the state's economy.
This is really a step towards completely getting back to normal. Working with the legislature and our red tape relief task force, we've made many of the relaxation in regulations permanent, and we're going to be able to keep that. That's really a silver lining coming out of this pandemic.
On another stop today in the Magic City, Gianforte honored a group of Billings firefighters. Q2's Mitch Laggy brings us that story.
Governor Greg Gianforte stopped at Billings Fire Station 2 on Wednesday to present the technical rescue team with the Spirit of Montana Award for their dedication in rescuing a man who was trapped in a sugar silo earlier this year. On May 28th, a worker at the Western Sugar Cooperative Factory fell into a silo full of fine-grained sugar and became buried up to his chest. The technical rescue team were credited with saving the man's life in a delicate 2-hour operation that was the first of its kind to be undertaken by the team. Chris Voller was the first to make contact with the man and had to squeeze through a hole 18 inches in diameter to get there, about the same size as the fire hose that he has in his hands. Firefighters had to carefully maneuver equipment through the small gap to help the man escape.
Everything had to come in. We had to build it there to make all of our protective safety measures with the box around him, and then all of our digging equipment, everything had to come in through an 18-inch opening.
Voller said the technical rescue team is about 32 members strong, but many more Billings firefighters helped out on that day.
It is an honor to get this award. It's a very big-time achievement award that we accept as an entire team, because it was an entire team effort. Everybody else from Billings Fire Department helped out that day as well, so it was more than just the technical rescue team on scene that day. It was every Billings firefighter that showed.
Reporting in Billings, Mitch Laggy, MTN News.
All right, thanks so much, Mitch. Now, the Billings Technical Rescue Team also helps people who've fallen from the Billings rims or get stranded on the Yellowstone River. Well, a $6 million grant will help build a new cancer center in Lewistown with a goal to fill a huge coverage gap. The total cost of the comprehensive cancer center is $8.9 million. The Central Montana Medical Center says it will help provide high-quality cancer care closer to home for nearly 50,000 Central Montana residents. Positions will include a full-time oncologist, a part-time radiation oncologist, and a linear accelerator machine. Now, the goal is to break ground in the spring of 2022 and open by the summer of 2023. Up next on tonight's MTN 530 News on Q2, we meet a young lady whose lemonade stand isn't just about selling a cold drink, but more about helping herself and others. And in sports, we'll head to Big Timber, where the Summer Series Rodeo launches its second season less than 2 hours from now. Hear why it's such a big deal right after this.